who this evening have the opportunity to qualify for the top division in the Nations League. Méabh De Búrca is with us. Kathleen is back as well. Maeve, good morning to you. How are you?
Good now. How are you doing?
Put some context on Katie McCabe's performance for us on Friday night with the casually referenced torn tricep, which generally takes sports people out for about a year. Not that they then go and score hat-tricks. Just put some context on the quality of the performance for us, will you?
Yeah, it was incredible, really. She kind of single-handedly, took the game to Albania. Like you said, a hat-trick and 2 assists as well for Kira Carusa. They seemed to really link up well. I thought the 2 of them up front really worked well off each other. And yeah, it was just incredible. And then obviously topped last night with her Ballon d'Or, 22nd place in the world for the female player. So not a bad week for her.
Kathleen, is this where she's going to play for the rest of her Ireland career now?
I don't think so. I think that she can play there at the moment because of the opposition that we're facing. I think there is a possibility that maybe as some of the players mature, the likes of Izzy Atkinson and stuff, we might see her going a little bit higher up the pitch. But I think when you look at how some of those younger players are still settling into the team, they're not quite there yet, and we don't quite have the defensive system to fully commit Katie up top. I don't know, maybe if you feel any different to that, but the majority of people I talk to say, like, this is really positive for right now, but we're still finding our feet as a squad, so we can't fully commit to her being there.
Yeah, like it's hard to know against the top nations how we'll get on, but I suppose we have the likes of Megan Campbell as well, who could fill in that role if she's, coming back to being fully fit, and even defensive cover like, Niamh Fahey, Aoife Mannion. We do have plenty of defensive options, but I suppose it's just whether when we're playing the top nations that you're willing to kind of push Katie forward or use her in her normal wing back role.
What's the downside with it?
Of having Katie higher up?
Yeah, like against those better teams who are suddenly going to be like, ooh, now we need to change our...
I think it just leaves us a little bit exposed at the back. And I think like there is a chance that Katie, if we put her up in that forward role, she would still find herself drifting back to that position against some of the bigger teams and some of the stronger nations. I definitely think it's something that we can develop. And I think, Jerry, you said it before, or no, actually, I think it was John Duggan when he was talking about, why did Ireland never kind of develop the players to allow Katie McCabe to play forward? But like, there's an argument there that, she is a world-class talent and they don't come along all that often. But I do think we have that opportunity now with some of those younger players that are coming through. Like, there was once or twice on Friday night in Tallaght where I thought her and Izzy Atkinson linked up really well. And she's definitely a player that I would like to see get more game time in the WSL with West Ham this season, because when she did come on at the game just before the international break, she really made a difference, but she's struggled to find that consistent form. And I think that's possibly because she's not getting the consistent game time as well. Players like her can really take us forward. Like, we still have the likes of Jess Zhu to come back in as well. There is a lot of interesting players that I think in years to come will be able to help support us. But just right now, I'm not sure if we played like England tomorrow, would we be able to succeed with the system that we've been playing against the likes of Albania, Hungary, Northern Ireland?
Okay, hopefully the plan is that we end up in Division 1 of the Nations League and we do end up playing England more regularly and we get the opportunity to try stuff out. That's why tonight's really so important, Maeve. It's like, got to put in the performance, got to win the game, make it a routine away victory. Which obviously doesn't happen that often in Irish football, but we're getting to the stage now where we can realistically expect that they will win comfortably tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's just getting comfortable with even having the most possession and things like that. Like, we usually are playing games where the other team dominates possession, whereas obviously in this Nations League, we have most of the ball, and even that in itself is just something to get used to. And it's definitely, it's good. Just, I think, to be able to try things offensively, like we do see Kira Carusa coming into her own now, but that's because I suppose we just have more of the ball in an attacking third, whereas before we we were just hooping balls up and she would have to hold the ball up and try to bring others into play. So it's just a completely different system of playing. But it's a good, I suppose it's nice just to have that expectation and expect goals and wins for these few months while it's on. And then, I suppose after December, we'll probably be back a bit to reality and that. But I think it's nice to be able to enjoy it. And like you said, expect victories away from home isn't always a thing that we do expect in international football, but we'll definitely be expecting one this evening.
Just on the point that Kathleen was making a moment ago, Maeve, like it is very interesting to predict how Ireland are going to evolve in the next string of fixtures in the Nations League. So right now Ireland have the best goal difference, the most goals scored across the entire Nations League. So they are the one team who are playing way above their level compared to any other team in the continent. So is your expectation, taking that into account, that Ireland will at least there's a little bit of hope that they can continue to try elements of this attacking, controlled game plan against better teams? Or do you think it's going to be a complete sea change when the opposition are of a much higher quality next year?
I think it will be a bit just going back to what we know, although I do hope that certain elements of it might be able to be brought into play, like when we do get up the pitch a little bit, that then we will be able to link up and have a bit, better interplay and that type of thing, combination plays in the final third. But I think we'll still end up going back to, we're still playing 5 at the back now, but it looks more like a 3 obviously when we're in possession, but I think we'll still revert back to that. Obviously that depends on the manager as well, which is why personally I would have hoped that a permanent manager would be in at this stage, because at least then they can, implement their own system of play. However, if it is Eileen, then that's all good, because she'll have already set her stamp on the team, But I think once the opposition changes, I think our style of play will change again, unfortunately.
I think it is interesting that as well, this team, the mindset around them at the moment, and Sinead Farley was talking about it over the weekend, but in particular, the fact that they clearly went into this group stage with the idea in mind that they were going to score goals and not concede goals. Like chatting to Louise Quinn after the game on Friday, she was raging that they let that goal in on 7 minutes, like 4 minutes after Katie had scored. And when we were chatting to her, again, there was like a moment where we had to go, wait a second, we won the game 5-1. Like, it was a really good game. Katie got an amazing hat trick. Diane, getting her 100th cap. Ciara Caruso also getting her brace. But she was so fixated on that one goal. And she said she went in at half time, and it was one of the few times she's ever felt like she really had to, give off to people and be like, where did your heads go? And she kept talking about how disappointing it was to concede the goal. So I think even from that perspective, I'm really glad that Ireland went into these games with not just the target of qualifying for League A and, scoring goals or changing systems. They also went in with the target of, we're not going to concede anything. And if you look at our score lines over the last couple of years, we actually don't concede a whole lot of goals, but we always find it difficult, I think, sometimes against those smaller nations to keep those clean sheets. And I'm glad that was a target for this team in this Nations League. Hopefully they can continue, and it will just be that one.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. Because I think they would have their target would have been 6 clean sheets, and to concede, and it was a poor goal as well to concede. It was preventable, and to be opened up like that for Albania, who are, I think it's 72nd in the world or around that. It is disappointing, and I suppose I know Louise long enough to know that she would take such pride in keeping clean sheets, and as a defender, I suppose that's all you want to do. We prefer to win the game 1-0 than win it 5-1, really. So I think it's something they'll probably have to the forefront of their mind this evening. They'll know that they can't have any lapse in concentration, and that's all it was. The last night was just one lapse, not tracking a run, and then that's what caused a goal. So I think that's what they'll try. Like I said, they'll try focus on that tonight, as well as hopefully putting a few in the back of the net.
Was there anything that would give you pause that perhaps tonight won't be an automatic victory, that there might be an ability for Albania to scrape a draw or something?
Obviously, in the first half, they did show glimpses. You know, they really did kind of take it to Ireland. But on the flip side, it's almost like how I see us when we play against the bigger nations as well. We can stay with them for a while. Well, in the past, more so, I suppose you'd be able to challenge them over a half. But then, you know, then the opposition would have too much in the second half. And no, I think. I'd be fairly confident tonight that Ireland can, you know, hopefully, like I said, have a win and also a clean sheet and a win by a few goals, hopefully.
All right. So it's a routine victory for Ireland tonight. We need Northern Ireland to beat Hungary.
Yeah. And then we are qualified with 2 games to go. So that will be...
Even a draw, I think even a draw maybe in that game. So it might do us as long as we win. Not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
That'll be us promoted to Tier 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we still have like the last 2 games, so it'll be Hungary in Tallaght and then Northern Ireland in Belfast. That game actually isn't confirmed for Windsor yet. So they've actually been playing some of their games at Crusaders, and I saw there was quotes from Tanya Oxtoby this morning saying that she'll make the decision closer to the time based on footballing reasons, but that she wants Windsor to kind of be their place going forward.
All right. Maeve, good stuff. Thanks a million for joining us. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, guys.